2025 NBA Finals Game 1 preview. Now, before we get started, let's take a look at how each team has performed in Game 1 in the playoffs thus far. Let's take a look at the Indiana Pacers. In Game 1s, they are averaging 127 points per game, shooting 51% from the field, 43% from three, and 82% from the free throw line. And they're also averaging 11 turnovers and 29 assists per game. They've won Game 1 in each round thus far. But I can't just give you numbers, I have to give you context. Round 1, they played a Bucks team without Damian Lillard. Round 2, they played an injured Cleveland Cavaliers team. And then in the Eastern Conference Finals, we of course remember the Knicks' historical collapse, scoring, I think, 18 points in the final 2.5 minutes, and then they went on to win in overtime. You know, I can't give this team full credit for each one of these wins because each win comes with an asterisk. Of course, they won the game, so we have to celebrate that. But there are things that we have to take into consideration when we're looking at how they're going to perform Game 1 on the road against Oklahoma City. Let's look at the Thunder on the other hand. They are averaging 113 points per game, 47% from the field, 41% from three, 75% from the free throw line, 10 turnovers per game, and 27 assists in Game 1s only. So when I look at the Thunder, they're averaging less points per game, but that's due to number of possessions, that's due to pace, and that's due to defensive intensity. They don't have to score 120 points or 130 points to win. They can score 100 or 105 and still come out victorious because they have a historically good defense. So those are the numbers. But here's what I think is going to be shown on the court. I think the Thunder are going to dominate Game 1 because this is going to be the best defense that the Pacers have faced all year long. In the regular season, Oklahoma City won both of those games convincingly, and I think they're going to repeat that again tonight. Oklahoma City is going to blitz Tyrese Halliburton and force him to get the ball out of his hands early, which he's willing to do because he's a willing passer and really a pass-first point guard, which we don't see a lot of today. But it's going to put pressure on the other players on the Pacers to make plays and hit open shots. And I think this moment might be a little bit too big for the Pacers, with the exception of Pascal Siakam, who has that championship experience. But he's going to have his hands full. He's going to be guarded by J-Dub. He's going to be guarded by Chet Holmgren, who are going to make it a lot more difficult than the Knicks were. He's not going to be able to get those easy jump hooks in the lane because he's going to be dealing with 2 rim protectors rather than none, who the New York Knicks had in the starting lineup. Mitchell Robinson is good, but he fouls a lot. I don't think Hartenstein and I don't think Holmgren are going to foul Siakam when he gets to the rim, making it even harder for him to be the secondary or primary scorer tonight. Then I have to look at the Pacers defensively. When they played the Knicks, they could really key in on 2 players, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. When they played the Cleveland Cavaliers, they just had to key in on Donovan Mitchell. And in round 1, they really keyed in on Giannis because Dame wasn't 100% healthy. But this series is a lot different. You can't just say, okay, we're going to blitz Shea and then force him to give the ball up, because he has willing scorers on his team who can penetrate, who can kick, and who can knock down open shots. This is a balanced attack. It's not just, prevalent on what Shea is going to do. There's other players who can help make the difference. But if Shea does get off, and if he does get those defenders in foul trouble, it's going to be a long night. The Pacers have to be very careful because just like Jalen Brunson can draw fouls, Shea can do it even better. So you're really facing a version of Brunson times 2. So how are you going to defend that? Can Nembhard really get into Shea's body and force him to take tough shots? I don't think so. Shea is a lot taller than Brunson. He's going to be able to shoot over the top. So I look for him to really have a dominant performance. Miles Turner is going to have to step out onto the perimeter and slide his feet. He can do it, but can he do it for 48 minutes? That's why it's going to be so difficult, because this Thunder team is just so overwhelming. And last, the pace of the game. The Pacers want to get out into transition. Off missed shots, they're going to push the ball. Even on made shots, they're going to rush to get the ball in bounds and try to sprint up court so that the Thunder defense isn't set, which is the right strategy to have. But is it going to be effective? The Thunder can slow the game down and pick them apart in the half court. And that's what I'm most scared of. If the Pacers are out of rhythm and are not knocking down shots consistently, this game can get out of hand. Because once you're down by 10 or 15 points, Playing like madmen and trying to play fast is not going to work. It's only going to help the lead get even more out of control. The Thunder are great at forcing turnovers. They're great at scoring in transition. So even if the game gets sped up a bit, the Thunder can still play that style even though they would like to do the opposite. So I'm going to look at the first quarter. How do the Pacers handle the defensive intensity? Then I'm going to look at what are they doing defensively to slow Shea down and slow down the role players. The Thunder are at home. They're going to feel comfortable. Their role players, their bench players are going to come in and hit big shots. How are the Pacers going to counter that? You let me know what you think in the comments, but I'm taking the Thunder to win game 1.